Thank you very much, Honorable Ebrahim. We're now opening the floor for your questions. I would encourage the students to ask questions, but yung mga comments may be short comments if you have insights. Everybody? So we'll collect, I think, mga 2 questions, then Honorable Ebrahim can answer those questions. Do we have a mic? So we have a mic. Kindly identify yourself sa laptop.
Assalamualaikum. Good morning, Honorable Ebrahim, and good morning to everyone. Sir, you have emphasized that Asia is one of the strategic areas right now in terms of South-South cooperation. With what is happening right now in your close neighbor in Egypt, for example, in West Asia, as the turmoil in the Arab world, to be specific, how does South African international department approach this kind of scenario? Thank you.
Kindly identify yourself, your organization.
I'm Belia Lucas. I'm with the UP Center for Integrated and Development Studies. I studied environmental management in 1996, and it's an international course. And there were 3 South African participants, 2 whites and 1 black. The 2 whites were roommates, and my roommate was the black South African. But that's not my question. You mentioned in passing about the African National Congress that you have you have policies on mining, and then about the green economy. No? Okay, the mining policy is a hot issue here in the Philippines right now. I wanted to know more about the mining policy in your country, because here in the Philippines it's a hot issue. In fact, one of the board of trustees of a nearby university resigned because of this difference in mining policy. Well, I think that is well, we allow companies to mine for 50 years, and now with the new mining policy, I think after 25 years it will be restudied. So some of the mining companies are protesting this.
So one more question. Sir, you can answer the first 2 questions. The first one will be on Arab Spring and South Africa and the mining force. What, sir, you can take your seat. Okay, I'm very sorry.
I will ask and answer. Yes, well, it is true that Asia has become a very important strategic partner for Africa as a whole. We've got a number of forums. We've got the China-Africa Forum. We've got the Korea-Africa Forum. We've got the Vietnam-Africa Forum. We've got the Japanese-Africa Forum. And we've got the India-Africa Forum. It's called in different names. But you could see that Asia is very keen on the continent of Africa. Because Africa now is earmarked as a region that is going to be a fast-growing region in the sense that in the coming decade, Africa will grow very, very rapidly. And it's got a lot of natural resources, which many of the Asian countries actually need. So there is a strategic partnership we in South Africa, of course, during the apartheid years, we were more Eurocentric. And our main interest was European, not American. And in any event, the Asian countries didn't have diplomatic relations with South Africa because of the opposition to the apartheid systems. But since we got our freedom, we wanted to diversify and open up our economy and action, both in Asia and Latin America. And of course, the main priority still remains the continent of Africa. So, I mean, that is why South Africa has certain alliances. It is part of IPSA, that is Brazil, India, South Africa alliance, that brings together 3 large democracies. Now we've been also part of BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa is part of BRICS alliances. Although it doesn't bring together large democracies, it's there, it has certain economic advantages, not only for us, but for the continent. So that is why we say this is a very strategic partnership. We want to build South-South relation and strengthen. The Arab Spring, of course, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, are part of Africa. They're part of the African Union. And like everybody else, we're taken aback a little bit by the uprising. Many people didn't predict the uprising, but now people say, no, they were scientists, etc. But we welcome the democratization of these countries, opening up of these countries, issuing democratic institutions, a constitutional democracy, freedom. Like in our own country, we have a constitutional state, we have an independent judiciary, we have freedom of the press, freedom of expression, and we are non-racial, where we have everyone has equal rights, all religions live in harmony and are respectful. Of course, we had problem with Libya, because in Libya, we said that the African Union, because since it was an African country, we always said there has to be an African solution to African problems. And we wanted an African solution. Then the AU initiative had a roadmap and said, this is how we will resolve the problem. Talks with Gaddafi, and he was prepared to step aside and make an exit strategy for him. But we voted for a resolution that said there should be a no-fly zone. And what we meant was that Gaddafi should not use his airplane to bomb Benghazi. But unfortunately, the Western powers used that resolution not only to impose a no-fly zone, but to continuously bomb people of Tripoli and supporting the rebels to overthrow Gaddafi. But that's another story, because of course, as South Africa became under criticism domestically and on the continent as well. That is why we felt that our former foreign minister, who was a SADC candidate, must occupy this position in the AU to strengthen the AU structures, so that the AU should then take the initiative in time to strengthen it, to see that in Africa we have a solution to problem, an African solution to our problem, to avoid foreign interference on our continent. I hope I have answered the question. On the question of mining, mining is an important sector of the South African, but it's been there since the 1800s. We discovered diamond and gold, which led to a number of wars between the British and the Dutch and the World War. But mining is, of course, is a diminishing economy. But while mining is an important pillar of our economy, So we are diversifying manufacturing, agriculture, etc. And we have the largest amount of platinum in the world, I think 90%. We have gold, we have diamond, we have lots of good shopping list of wood. But we are also saying that there has to be beneficiation of this mineral. We don't want to just export this mineral, we export gold, maybe to India, and then India will make it food and covers, send it to us. You know, Africa produces cocoa, best cocoa Africa produces. Ghana produces the best cocoa. But the best chocolate are made in Switzerland, in Africa, with our own cocoa. So we are saying mining is an important sector. At the same time, we feel that there has to be a beneficiation. And we're saying to all these countries, and we are working towards that. I think some limited success, but we are working towards that too. But mining is, I'm not sure about your country. I know one of our mining fields, Anglo Gold, has got 49%. One of your mining companies there. And everybody, and they are waiting for any new regulation and laws to see how it will affect their investment. But there has been a lot of investment on the head of lawmen. But lawmen is London mining. So London, and we are addressing the question of the conditions of the workers, the poor condition of the workers, and the poor living condition of the workers. And our Minister of Employment is very keen to address the question of wages for miners, better living conditions for miners, and we should not just allow big companies to come and ruthlessly exploit profit. I don't know if there's a question. I don't know whether any other question.
Okay, let's have the next round of questions from the floor. Yes. So from the media team or group that currently present? Meron ba? Yeah. Kindly identify media group or your name.
Hi, sir. I'm Karen Memorial from Solar News. I'd like to ask for an update on the meeting that you had with PSEC, the Gonzalo yesterday when it comes to the trade and investment that can go on between South Africa and the Philippines. Thank you.
The meeting with or
You
said so.
Laura de Gonzalo.
Wow. Another question? Persons. Nahiya natin mga sila. Ask questions. Okay, sorry, you can just answer the question.
Yes, we had a very fruitful meeting with the secretary or acting secretary. As I said, we had agreed that we should have a structured relationship, which we call a bi-national forum, so that we could meet, which we have in many countries, so we could meet on a regular basis, once a year. We meet here 1 year and we meet in South Africa. We have that in a number of countries. Now this agreement is going to be signed by our two ministers, our Minister of Foreign Affairs and your Minister of Foreign Affairs, when they meet at the United Nations, the General Assembly. The agreements are ready, it's only for them to the minister to sign, so we have a structured relationship. Yeah, we looked at the various options, the way of increasing trade. Agricultural trade, I think that we've got a lot of citrus fruit, people oranges there. And the Philippines are going to send some experts looking at the pest control and the agricultural product. We've got a lot of sheep, beef that we could import, or export, we could import. And and we looked at various aspects of increasing tourism in the two countries. We are linking up with the two tourism departments. We are also exploring a direct air link between your country, Manila and Johannesburg, which also includes tourism. But I think generally we agree that there are a number of fields which cooperate in science and technology in the education field as well. So I think that we want to encourage the South African business community to come to Philippines, and the Philippine business community under the Chamber of Commerce and Industry to go to South Africa. We also agreed that there should be a meeting of specialists on both sides, which would coincide with our first inaugural meeting of the Binational Commission, which we hope to take place next year. So I think we are structuring our relations, and I'm sure that our point they also raised the question of assisting South Africans with skill training, teachers and engineers to go to South Africa, and allowing South African students also to study in Philippines. And generally, of course, on the international arena, we work together with members of the non-aligned and from time to time, of course, on international issues, we hope to exchange views so that we can have a common position on international issues. We are all for the reform of not only the United Nations, but the financial institutions as part of the G20. We are pushing very hard for the reform of this international institution and financial institution for the benefit of Africa and of course
Maybe two more questions before we
My question has something to do with the recent strike of miners. And miners died because the police took it seriously.
Hi, good morning. My question has something to do with the result of the strike among the mine workers. What would be the reaction of the government, especially the party, the African National Congress? And does it create a debate within the party what to do with the miners? Okay.
I'm Professor Mendoza, Department of Computer Science. I'm not sure whether my premise is true. The senior activists, leaders of the ANC are in a process of natural attrition, like death or disease and weakness. So my question would be, has there ever been a white South African who is a member in the cabinets since Mandela? A related question would be, what are the possibilities, that has not happened yet, what are the possibilities that a white South African would be a member of the cabinet or even head of state of South Africa? Thank you very much.
On the question of the strike, yes, there was a strike. It was a labor dispute between the unions. Unfortunately, there was a split in the union, and some people in the party. And he demanded they were putting a bit unrealistic, they wanted 300% increase overnight. And certain populist elements took advantage. The problem with the strikers was that they were armed and 2 policemen, security people and others were killed. About 10 people have died. This crisis between the environment. The police opened fire on them. We condemned it. We said that now our president immediately acted. He declared a group of mourning. He immediately established a judicial commission of inquiry by a respected judge to inquire, and he's given them a maximum of 4 months to come to that report. And we feel that we must wait for the inquiry. Any unlawful act was committed by anybody, including the police, then the law must take its course. We had to act after that we acted very firmly. Our security ministers acted very firmly to disarm. We says in our constitution, everybody has a right to peaceful protest. But we cannot allow protesters to be armed and threatened and kill other people. The shop steward was taken out of his home and he was killed because he went to work. So we have taken very strong steps to the state, because I think the state has to act to protect everyone. We can allow people to protest, but cannot allow people to be armed when they protest or threaten or incite violence. So we're waiting for the state, for the commission of inquiry, and we have taken a very strong stand that this will not happen again. About whites, I don't know, because yes, from the time of Mandela, there were many whites in the cabinet. There were many whites in the struggle, in prison, in exile, who fought as members of the National Congress. They were democratic whites. And many whites were in senior position in the cabinet, even up to now. There are many whites who are in the cabinet as ministers and deputy ministers. There are many whites in the constitutional courts, many whites in all sectors of government, in every department. We are a truly non-racial society. I'm from an Indian origin because our grandfathers came as indentured laborers in the 1860s to work in the food. We were born in South Africa and in South Africa. So there are many people of Indian origin are in the cabinet, in government, and they've always been, and they were in the movement, in the struggle, etc. Whether a white would become a president, well, we don't know, because in terms of the constitution, there's nothing that stops them. But to be a president, you've got to be a president of the party. Now the party, of course, is over 90% African. So when you have an election, but in the National Executive Committee, which is the highest decision-making body between congresses, we have many whites, many people of Indian origin, many people of color, also colored people. So we have a truly non-racial. And I must say we have very strong agenda in the African National Congress. 50% of our representatives must be women, because we have a proportional representation. We don't vote for the candidate, we vote for the party. In our party list, there must be male, female, male, female, male, female, in all legislative assemblies. In Parliament, 50% of our members of Parliament are women, and in the Council, in the Provincial Assembly, in the Cabinet, of course, about 40% of our Cabinet members are women. So we are very, very strong on the question of gender equality.
So one last question before we from a student. I would require a student to ask a question. Undergrad, not grad at school student.
Okay, I'm Eric Valerio from the College of Social Science and Philosophy. I was wondering, are there any scholarships or opportunities for students like us to study in South Africa? Thank you.
Okay, one more question. Because of that, Ms. Leorio, plus 5 passages.
Yes.
Okay, and from the class of Dr. Chester. This is time to ask questions. It is a rare opportunity to have Mr. Ebrahim. Please ask. Okay, sir, about the scholarships or opportunities for students.
Well, I see very keen to come to South Africa. I'm sure they are scholarship, but I can't tell you because it's something that is done by the Department of Education. But there are many foreign students that are studying in South Africa, particularly from the African states and even from Asia and other places. We want our students also to go and study abroad. We're always looking for scholarships, so I'm sure there are scholarships available. But as I said, I can't tell you the details because I think the Department of Education wanted things. But you'll be welcome to come to South Africa to study. You love South Africa, and all of you, even if you don't come to study, and I want you to come and visit South Africa. It's a very beautiful country. It's a non-racial country. You can study, because I said to young people here today, we go around sharing our experiences. Because people thought there's going to be violence, there's going to be bloodshed, there's going to be revolution. But then we had a leadership like Mandela, like Party, and we were able to resolve our problem by negotiation, by talking, by peaceful means. And we also built a reconciliation process which we like to share with other countries and in Manila as well, because you had insurgency here in the country. We were in the process of negotiating. And I think our experiences will be useful just to come and get our people to come and share our experience. So, not to dictate to you, but something to learn as to how we did it, how we were able to bring about a democratic and non-racial and non-sexist South Africa. Well, in the end, I must thank you. Thank you very much for taking this time. I hope to see some of you in South Africa. We'll contact our ambassador.
Again, let's have a round of applause for